Welcome back to a brand new episode of Everything is Tragic with Hilary Starr. I am your host, Hilary Starr. Welcome, guys. Episode 11. We are pushing through these episodes. Next thing you know, before you know it, I'm going to be at episode 100, and we're going to be like, oh my God, remember when she started out? And then I'm going to be like doing live shows and stuff. Manifesting. This week has been, girl. Yeah, it's been one hell of a week mentally. I've been going through it, but little by little I get out of it. It's one of those things where it's one of my funks, but it's not depression. It's just pure anxiety, just absolute existential dread, worrying about the worst. And then when I conceptualize it and try to put it into more simpler terms and actually speak what's on my mind, I realize that I'm not actually worried about anything, and I'm just freaking out over nothing, essentially. And that's kind of where I've been at this week. I've just been kind of in that state of mind, like in that state of panic. When you get anxious and you kind of freeze a little bit and you can't function normally. Normally, when I'm anxious, I can function pretty damn well. But for some reason this week, I've been pretty paralyzed, where I could not even get myself to do a video like for TikTok or anything. And all of a sudden today I woke up and I was like like the Sound of Music. I was just like, the hills are alive with the sound of music. Like, I was just feeling so pumped and ready for the day. And you know what? It's just one of those things. It goes to show that it's all mental, babes. Your anxiety is all in your head, babes. And you just got to get out of that funk, yeah? So we're ready. This episode is going to be super fun. We're going to talk about a lot of things. And in honor of the Barbie premiere next week, not going to lie, I thought it was premiering tomorrow. But in honor of the Barbie premiere next week, I'm going to give you guys your random fact for this week is a Barbie one. Here it is. There was once a pregnant version of Barbie's BFF Midge, but it had to be changed after consumers complained the doll prompted teenage pregnancy. That is wild, because my cousin, someone used to have that pregnant Barbie. I remember that pregnant Barbie. I'll put a picture. So edit Hillary, don't let me down. Don't let me down. But I used to play with a pregnant Barbie, this specific one that is mentioned in this fun fact. And I remember I used to eat the baby, not actually like consume it, but I used to chew on it always. I used to take the baby out of the pregnant belly, and it was like magnetic. So like the bump was magnetic, and you took it off and she's not pregnant anymore. And then she has her baby, and then you would store the little toy, which was a baby and like a little newborn. And I used to just pop it in like a fucking Tic Tac, like chewing gum. And I would just chew on it for a good amount of time, and then I would spit it out. But I used to eat a lot of things when I was a kid, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I used to eat Polly Pocket dresses and clothes. Ooh, those things were so gummy and stretchy and chewy. Like, oh my God. I used to love eating that. I went through a phase where I used to eat Silly Putty. I used to eat Play-Doh. I liked the mix of the salty and the tanginess of it. Don't judge. I was a kid. I didn't know any better. Where I will accept judgment is I used to eat dirt and also ants. That's where it's like, okay, like where do we find the fine line of like what's acceptable and not acceptable as a kid? Like things that like, okay, I get if you chewed on your hair, I get if you chewed on pencils, but dirt, like I get it. I understand it's not normal, it's not right, but I used to do it. And I mean, I knew it was wrong because I would never do it in front of my mom. I always did it when she wasn't around. I mean, what else did I used to eat? I used to eat all the Barbie shoes. All the Barbie shoes I had were non-existent. The Bratz shoes, they were a little hard to chew on, so I couldn't really chew on them that well, and like actually destroy them, because when I would chew on toys, when I would chew on like the Barbie shoes, I would chew to destroy, right? So when I would chew on the Barbie shoes, I would chew on them in hopes that the shoe would completely go flat, and it would be so flat, and I used to just chew on it and like suck on it, and it was like so much fun. I'm finding too much joy in talking about this, but I know I'm not the only one because it's a universal thing. Everybody always talks about the Polly Pocket dresses and the clothes. They were always so fun to chew on. And listen, the only reason why I'm talking about this is because I know I'm not the only one that used to do this. Like, I used to go to the book fair because my mom only gave me like $10, and I would buy those big jumbo erasers and I would chew those to high hell. You know what else I used to choose? Those pencil grippers. You remember the pencil grippers that you would put like on the pencils? Yeah, I used to chew the hell out of the rubber ones. Oh man, damn. Is that why I'm so overweight? Because I was chewing so much air back in the day, and now I'm like, I'm just bloated. And I'm also going to start doing songs of the week because I love music and I love sharing my love for music with people. And whenever I find someone that has the same taste of music as I do, I love it. So your song of the week is Lightning Crashes by the band Live. It's this beautiful rock song from like 1996, I think. And it is so good. Andrew, my husband, actually introduced me to the song not that long ago, like a few months ago. And I never really fully listened to it until I listened to it the other day. And I was listening to it over and over and over again. That's how you know that it's like a good song. It has a really good build up. Great song. Also, I have something to confess, and I'm not proud of it, only because the other day I posted on Threads being okay with not liking this certain thing, and now I'm starting to like this certain thing, and now I'm afraid to be judged and called a fake fan, because I wouldn't really consider myself a fan. Okay, so let me just explain myself. So I used to always say I didn't like Taylor Swift's music. I didn't mind her. I guess I thought she was cool or whatever, but the other day, I started listening to her first few albums, and I'm not a big country music lover. I can tolerate like a good Shania Twain banger, like that John Denver, is that his name? The Country Road, Take Me Home, that song, and his song Annie's Song. Oh, that's such a beautiful song. Without it sounding too like yippee-ki-yay, like hee-haw, incest loving kind of thing, but I listened to Taylor Swift's first and second album, and I was like, you know what? I kind of fuck with this. And I remember back in like 2011, 2012, I really fucked with the song Back to December by Taylor Swift, and I didn't realize it until I heard it the other day, and I was like, oh my God, like I remember how much I actually really like this song. And then I started listening to her other songs, and she's a really good lyricist. Like, she's really good with lyrics. She's a good storyteller. And it's just, I guess, the music I wasn't fucking with, because when she started performing, I wasn't a big fan of country at all, and my music taste has definitely changed. So now at 28, almost 28 in 2 weeks, now as a 28-year-old, my music taste has broadly changed. Like, I have expanded my music taste so much that I was like, you know what, let me actually give it a chance. The pop music of Taylor Swift, I don't really like the I knew you were trouble when you, like, those are like bangers that, like, obviously if I hear at a bar I'm gonna sing, but it's not one that I'm gonna add to my playlist and want to listen to on a Friday night when I'm getting ready to, I don't know, go food shopping or something, you know. But I was listening to like her first few albums, and I'm like, you know what? I think I like Taylor Swift, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Are you gonna judge me? Is it okay if I like Taylor Swift? Are we still friends? Listen, either way, I have expanded my horizons, and the music I listen to now, you couldn't get me to sit through and listen to it for more than 2 seconds without me being like, I don't like this shit. Back when I was like, even in my early 20s, where I was only listening to, I don't even know what I was listening to. My music taste was interesting back then, but now it's like I listen to so much music that I would never think that I would enjoy. I listen to Celtic music, for crying out loud, and not just Enya, because I grew up listening to Enya. Enya will forever be one of my favorite artists of all time. I don't care what kind of music I listen to, but I've been listening to like these Celtic artists, and I'm like, wow, like this shit fucking is banging. And like, I was also listening to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack the other day, and I was like, all right. So we're fucking with this, are we? It's good. It's good shit. And I've always been told, my mom and family members of mine have always told me that I have a I have a good ear when it comes to music, and I take that as a compliment because I feel like when I listen to music, I listen to music. Like, you know, there's those people that like just listen to music and yeah, they hear a few songs here and there. But when I listen to music, I fully immerse myself in the experience of a song, and like I listen to more of the music than the actual lyrics. Eventually I'll listen to the lyrics, but what gets me first is music. And when I hear good music, oh bitch, it's so hard for me to not like it, even if it's like a controversial one or like one that people don't usually like, that I would be like embarrassed to admit, like Celtic music. Like listen, there's some Celtic music out there that's fucking banging, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Don't knock it till you try it, you know what I mean? Also, before I move on, I really pride myself in making some bomb ass playlists on Spotify, which you guys can find on my the link in my bio. You guys can explore. I have like these playlists that I made, and then you can explore my other ones. And I don't know about you guys, but let me know if you guys are like this. Do you guys listen to music based on your mood, or do you listen to music based on just casual listening? Like you can listen to whatever, no matter what you're feeling. I don't know about you guys, but I only listen to music depending on how I feel. So if I'm cooking, I'm listening to some Etta James, Louis Armstrong, a lot of jazz, like that jazz that like with the trumpets and like the nice little what's it called, the cymbal and the guitar, the smooth guitar, and even sometimes some classical music. I love me some classical music, some Mozart, some Schubert, some Chopin. Oh bitch, what? I feel so exquisite. I love listening to classical music when I wake up in the morning. I play that when the sun is rising because it just heightens your mood. Like it makes you feel things. What else? Sometimes when I'm driving and it's really nice out, the weather wise, I listen to a playlist called POV You're a Teen in the Early 2000s, Driving in the Summertime with the windows rolled down. And it's just pure 90s and early 2000s bangers. And it's like what you would hear in like a coming of age 90s, like Clueless, Legally Blonde, kind of Mean Girls type of movie. Or like a Disney Channel original movie. And then like when I'm like chilling, you know, I love, there's this one playlist where I would also play if I'm cooking. It's called You're a Painter in New York City Who Likes Coffee Shops, Cigarettes, and Dim Lighting. And this playlist is, I have a lot of samba music. Is it samba? It's like that Brazilian kind of like, dun, 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 dun. It almost sounds like elevator music. Very relaxing, very chill, and very mellow, very calming, chill vibes. I don't know how I got to talking about music. Oh, Taylor Swift. But now I'm like, you know, going through my playlist and adding Taylor Swift music because now I'm a converted listener into a fan. Now I get it. I get why she has sold out tours all over the world, you know, why her 10-minute song is like super popular, like like I get it, I understand it. But yeah, song of the week, Lightning Crashes by Live, super great song, highly recommend. Next up, I have been changing my eating habits little by little. It's not easy to like fully change my eating habits without somehow going back to ordering McDonald's and Wendy's and realizing how good that shit tastes sometimes. Oh my god. I recently tried the Grimace shake and it was so good. And typically I don't like shakes if they're not chocolate with rainbow sprinkles mixed in, but the Grimace shake was actually really good. Like it was blueberry flavored, but it was still milky and it had like a hint of, I guess, vanilla. I don't know. It tasted so good. I loved it. But I have been eating a lot of spicy foods recently, and I wonder if that has been contributing. I'm questioning a lot of stuff with like what has been contributing to my anxiety, to my, you know, just my feeling of like, my state of crisis. And I don't know if spicy foods can lead to anxiety, but I haven't been eating the best. I was eating so much better like mid-year, sort of beginning of the year. And then slowly but surely I got anxious, I got depressed, and then my eating habits just go out the window whenever I get like that. And there was a point where I was only eating salads, and I would go every week with Andrew to Sweet Green because I am obsessed with Sweet Green. We had it for the first time, I think back in March. When did they open? Because they recently opened one in Long Island. I live in New York City, for those of you that don't know. Not in Manhattan. I live in Queens. So there isn't a Queens location. There's a ton of Sweet Greens in Manhattan, but I'm not going all the way over there for a salad. But I will go to Long Island because it's not that far of a drive. It's like 25 minutes from where I live. And Andrew and I said that we would get Sweet Green every Wednesdays. And surely we would get Sweet Green every Wednesday. And I felt so regulated. You feel so good when you eat healthy. Like it's crazy, but it's like so obvious. It's like, no shit. When you eat healthy, you feel better. When you eat like shit, you kind of feel like shit. And I was eating so healthy. I was like eating a lot of yogurt because I was looking a lot into gut health and how your gut health is so connected to a lot of things in your body, like how your body regulates itself and like your metabolism. And, your gut health is connected also to like a lot of your physical health and your mental health. And that was a big thing for me where I was like, I've been like really anxious and depressed, and a lot of it comes from just eating bad foods because they can chemically throw off your body. And, anxiety is all chemical. It's all chemical. It's all in the brain. So when you're feeding yourself good foods, good hearty foods that like really nourish you, it helps you also mentally, just like how going to the gym helps you mentally. Like it releases chemicals in your brain that really helps you feel better. And so when I was eating yogurt, because prebiotics, probiotics are foods that your gut needs to kind of like work normally and feel good. And for a while I was eating yogurt and like having like just a lot of good fats, and I was eating like nuts and stuff. And I even got my period because I have PCOS, for those of you that don't know. So I don't get my period unless I'm on birth control. But my OBGYN, obviously suggested when you lose weight and you work out, that can help regulate your cycle. And lo and behold, I was eating healthy for a little bit and I actually got my period on my own. And I was super proud of myself because I was like, listen, look at how easy it is. I don't need medication to regulate myself. I don't need medication to regulate my hormones. Like I can just eat healthy, work out, and, positive vibes. It's like, it's insane because there's so much money in medicine, big pharma, but it's crazy how, because it's not easy. Like it's not easy for everyone to just make those changes. Some people need assistance with medication because sometimes they don't have the resources or the time to even, go to the gym and stuff. But it is like when you put time in it, you realize how accessible good health is. You know what I mean? Like just eating healthier. But, even fruits and vegetables in this country are so plagued with like all the bad shit that like in Europe could never. You know what I mean? Like it's like even fruits and vegetables, like the frozen strawberry debacle that frozen strawberries had, like, what was it? Cancer, some listeria. I don't know. It had something in it where like people weren't buying frozen strawberries. So it's like we can't have anything, and then don't even get me started with the PFAs and all this stuff. So it's like you can never be too safe with yourself. You can never be too safe with your health. We just got to keep chugging along. So I've been eating healthier. I've been trying to get on that wave again because, like I said, I've been feeling really anxious, and I feel like a lot of it comes with my lifestyle. I haven't been really sleeping regularly. Like I've been going to sleep during the day, and at night I'm fully up. And that usually throws me off because I miss out on the entire day. And at night I'm fully up and I feel lonely, I'm by myself all day. Andrew comes home, and then when he goes to sleep, I'm by myself again. So it's like, I'm just there's so many things that have contributed to my feeling of anxiety and like just anxiousness. fixing my sleep schedule, eating breakfast, not having caffeine as soon as I wake up, not going on social media as soon as I wake up really helps, because it's like your brain needs time to like adjust, give it time to wake up. Give yourself some time to get used to being awake. Wake up, I brush my dog's fur, I take a nice shower, and I'll put like a Netflix show or a YouTube video, but I try to stay off of social media, because that scrolling on TikTok, like your brain is processing so much shit all at once, and it can get overwhelmed, and we don't even notice it because we're so used to it, But yeah, like I ate good yesterday, and I realized that like I ate so good yesterday, I feel lighter, I feel less bloated, and I feel like a skinny legend, and I'm proud of myself, because it's like I can do this. I sometimes think that I'm just destined to be fat forever, and it's like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna be a skinny legend. But I'm signing up at the gym next week, super excited, because the chemicals in my brain need to release all that stress and anxiety somewhere, and working out is the next best thing for me to do, because I already do so much to relieve my stress, whether it's watching Monsters Inc. or like, cooking a meal, or like playing with my dogs and watching a show that makes me laugh, or taking a nice hot shower, like a long shower. Like I do so many things and they work, but it's like I have to get out. I'm so, with working from home, I am so surrounded by my four walls on a daily basis that it's driven me to the point of pure insanity. And it's something that I kind of realized a little too late. I feel like I should have caught on to that little bit of like, oh, I kind of don't want to go out. I'm a little bit afraid of going out. And I should have caught that head on and like not allowed myself to get like this. But you got to start somewhere, making these improvements day by day, little by little. Also, this is super random, but is anyone else like genuinely afraid of sloths? Like, I understand that there's like, certain discomforts with things. Like, I don't really have that many phobias. Like, I'm not a big fan of flying, but I'll still do it anyways. But you cannot pay me to go near a sloth and think that I'm not going to go into cardiac arrest. Andrew had sent me a video of a sloth not that long ago, and it just reminded me of how terrified I am of these things that look like they should have been extinct during the Ice Age, but somehow made their way into the modern world. I genuinely don't even know where the fear came from, and I don't even have that many fears. Like I have like slight icks. Like I don't like the ocean. I'm kind of afraid of it. Very, a vast body of water where we've only discovered what was it, like 10% or something. Do y'all remember the submersible that went missing? What kind of like loosey-goosey creatures they saw there, or didn't have time to see. But anyways, I'm afraid of basements, like the usual fears. But this fear of sloths is like one of those unusual ones where it's like, okay, why are we afraid of a cute little animal with really long extremities, a very creepily shaped head, like the eyes look almost very human, like that thing is in a costume, and it has a very menacing smile too. It just genuinely, really, it makes me uncomfortable talking about it right now. I don't understand why I'm so afraid of them, but yeah, I don't know. This is my podcast. I can talk about whatever the fuck I want, and I felt like talking about my fear of sloths, and it's also like a reach out. Like who else? Where are the victims of sloth phobia? There has to be a name for it, because I genuinely, I can't even begin to think about what they look like, because I start getting a little hot. I start getting sweaty, and I also have like that discomfort with holes. I don't know. Because it's called trichotillomphobia, something like that. And it's not that I have a fear of holes. I just get very uncomfortable when I see a cluster of holes. It's not like I get uncomfortable if I see it on a speaker, because some people don't like seeing it on speakers. For me, it's like if the holes are deep and very close together. And especially if, oh my God, the first picture I ever saw of the cluster of holes that I later found out that it was fake, but I was really young when I saw it, so forgive me for that, for being so naive. It was a picture of a boob, okay? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that has seen this. Let me know if you guys have seen this too. It's a picture of a boob, right? And it has a cluster of holes around the nipple. And there was Oh my God. I remember when that was circulating around Twitter a lot. And I genuinely was like, why am I feeling disgusted? And it was that. And then there was one of like a foot, like the heel part of the foot. And there was the cluster of, I hate thinking about it. Oh my God. Every time I go to my cousin's house, their dog has, her food bowl, the dog's food bowl is, the design is just like these deep set holes, and I cannot look at it because I just get so fucking grossed out. But yeah, I don't think I have anything that's triggering to me in this house. I think I'm safe for now. I think we're good. So the long-awaited Barbie movie and Oppenheimer movie are premiering next week on July 21st. I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were premiering tomorrow. I'm a fucking idiot. But I'm very excited for both of these movies. Generally, I am not the biggest fan of historical movies, but Oppenheimer is very interesting because I love Cillian Murphy. I love him in Peaky Blinders. Andrew loves Cillian Murphy and Peaky Blinders. And I think Cillian Murphy is a fucking snack. But also, I think the movie is going to be so good because, like, I don't know how to explain it, but the trailer really captivated me. And when a trailer has me in a chokehold where I'm like consistently watching it over and over, that's how I know that I'm going to eventually go see the movie. Because if the trailer gets me interested, I'm going to watch the movie. You will never catch me in the movie theater watching a movie that I was mildly interested in, where like the trailer was like, I don't know if this is going to be good. I'm going to go watch it. No, I would never waste my time. I mean, maybe. Only if like Andrew really wants to see it and I'll just go for the popcorn. But yeah, but but anyways. So with the Barbie movie, I am more of a Bratz girly. Typically my favorite kinds of movies are horror movies, like just very scary paranormal movies. Those are the movies that I usually will gravitate towards when it comes to physically going to movie theaters. But I'm gonna make the exception for these two, and I think I'll actually go see them in theaters because I'm not gonna lie, but I want to go in all pink to the movie premiere. Not to the movie premiere, but like to go see it in theaters. You know, be in character and go like a Barbie because I'm just that fucking crazy and that much of an attention whore. But and then in the Oppenheimer, I can dress like super 1920s. Fucking Great Gatsby the fuck out of myself for the movie. But I'm definitely more of a Bratz girly. I for a second there I thought I was wearing my Bratz shirt, but I was wearing it to get ready for this episode. This is just Angelica, the queen, the Rugrats, the manipulative bitch. But I've even been trying to get a hold of my old toys, like my old Bratz and my old Barbie dolls. My mom has them stored away in the attic in this house that we used to live in Pennsylvania, and they've been stored there since like 2007, 2009, since 2009. And she's had my toys up there since forever, and she was like, oh, when you have kids, like you get, I'm like, no, I'm the kid and I want my toys now. And it's a form of me staying connected to my childhood because I'm a very big lover of staying connected to my childhood. You know, I have the fortune and the blessing of having had a good childhood, a very memorable and exciting childhood. So I keep my childhood very close to me, especially when I get like depressed or like anxious. I relate to my childhood. I go back to my childhood mentally, or you know, in whichever way I can. Like I have my video cassettes from like my video cassette tapes. Like I have a not Harry Potter. My mom threw it out because he was a wizard and it was witchcraft. But I have like this Wiggles movie. I have like all these VHS tapes, all these movies, Aladdin, Jack Frost, the movie, this Rudolph movie that I used to watch endlessly, The Grinch on VHS. And it's like, I'm never throwing these out because they're a part of me. And also I have all my home videos from when I was a kid. Like those are things that I cherish so much because not a lot of people have that stuff. And it's like, it's a look into my childhood. So I told my mom, I'm like, listen, whenever you can, please send those things back to me because I have a spot here for them. And I don't care if I'm 28, 29, or 49. I'm going to play with my toys. And there's like even this giant dollhouse that I don't know if she threw out. It is a dollhouse that I got in 2001, 2002. And I think it's still in the attic. I hope she didn't throw it out. My mom is dangerous. My mom is very dangerous. My mom is one of those people that, like, if you don't tell her that you want to keep something, she just assumes that you don't want it and she'll throw it out with no shame. She will throw it out. She's dangerous. She's a dangerous woman. So that kind of has me a little more in a rush to get my stuff because I have a place for them, you know? And I'm also in my cherishing my childhood phase, so I wouldn't mind playing with my brats. It's like playing video games, you know, except it's toys. And I won't eat the shoes, I promise. But so I think I'm gonna see both movies. Going back to the Barbie Oppenheimer world, Barbie Oppenheimer. People have been trying to, like, I saw like people were making merch for the combination of the movies, Barbie Oppenheimer, and it's like Barbie and Ken jumping out of like a cloud of smoke or like a fire. And it's the funniest thing ever. And some people were saying that Oppenheimer probably wouldn't get this much hype if the Barbie movie wasn't being hyped up right now. And I'm like, I don't know, because I was about to say a completely different name for the director. What was his name? Not Nicolas Cage. And I was going to say Nicolas Flamel. Do you know who Nicolas Flamel is? Some guy from, what is it, Slytherin, from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. That was like the one and only time that you ever heard Nicolas Flamel. And for some reason, that was the first thing that came into my head. Either that or Nicolas Cage. Not Michael Bay. Hold on, I need to research this. Christopher Nolan. And did you know that I thought Christopher Nolan was that actor? Hold on, I'll tell you right now who I thought Christopher Nolan was. I recently discovered this too. I thought Christopher Nolan was actually Christopher Walken, the actor. I will put pictures here, but I thought Christopher Nolan was Christopher Walken. And Christopher Walken is the actor who talks like this. I swear to God, it was like maybe 2 weeks ago where I was talking about it with Andrew, and I'm like, yeah, Christopher Nolan, the guy, he was in, not Holes, he was in like some other movie that I used to watch as a kid, and Andrew was like, he's a director, and I showed him who I thought it was, and he was like, that's Christopher Walken. Painful, like, oh man, I'm not good with names, I'm telling you. I can see someone as a kid, and 20 years later, even though they're older and their face change, I will still recognize them. I am that good with facial recognition. There's so many people that I've seen that I've gone to elementary school with that I haven't seen in like 15, 20 years. But the moment I see them in like a fair, I saw someone at a fair or like in the street or something, I will immediately make that connection and be like, oh, I know you from somewhere. Sometimes I will go up to them, but it's very awkward because I have these issues where like sometimes I'm just not right, and I'll be like, oh my God, like we went to PS33 together, and then they're just like, who the fuck are you? Okay, so this next topic is a little triggering for me because I have been spiraling because of this, and it is the aged TikTok filter from hell. That filter really took my self-esteem, curb stomped it, and put it back into my body, thinking that I would just be okay with acknowledging how fucking ugly I look with this filter. And I hate these people that look so good with it, and me being Hispanic, being Latina, with the genes that I have in my family, because my family is notorious for having great skin. How the fuck did this thing do me dirty like that? I just took a screenshot. I will show you guys how dirty this fucking filter makes me look. But I didn't think it would bother me that much until I saw people uploading videos of celebrities when they were younger and then using that filter, and then they literally look like how they look now, like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Adam Sandler. I'm like, now I'm fucking scared, because why is this so goddamn accurate? And then what made it worse for me, what kind of really like twisted the knife in my chest was when dermatologists and doctors were saying that this is really accurate, actually. I'm like, no, it fucking isn't. Stop lying. I mean, scientists said that the world was ending in 2012. Unfortunately, we're still here. They have to be wrong. There's no way, scientists and doctors can be wrong. So I am also saying this as a way of comfort, as a way of self-soothing, trying to make myself feel better, because there's no way that I'm actually going to look like that. There's just no way. But there was a dermatologist that said that a lot of what the filter is showing is just exaggerated things that you already have on your face. And a lot of these things change with time and also lifestyle and food changes. So like if I change how I eat with like certain things on my face, like the wrinkles, and also if I lose weight, the wrinkles might be less. And also AI doesn't know my family. They don't know my lineage. Have they seen a picture of my grandma? Have they seen what my grandma looks like? My grandma is 83, if I'm correct, and she looks fucking bomb. I will put a picture up somewhere. Hillary, please don't do me dirty again. But I think I'm gonna put a picture up there so you guys can see how gorgeous my grandma looks. And my mom, she's 60, and her skin is phenomenal. I'm also gonna put a picture of my mother. My family does not age. My family does not crack. So why do I look like I'm on crack? Why do I look so cracked up? It is disgusting. And like the picture I showed is what I look like with makeup on. Without makeup on, bitch, I look rough. Holy shit, I look rough. And Andrew, like I always figured out, he looks like a long-haired version of Mr. Rogers. And I can't wait until we get older, just so I can dress him in the cutest sweater vests and hear him say, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. But I'm going to trust my family's genes. But in the meantime, as a precaution, I'm just going to go a little more ham on my skincare routine. And I'm also going to stop smiling. I'm going to stop moving my face. I'm just going to, really, really just keep myself, at a low and not move my face, keep myself really stiff. I'm going to start sleeping on my back and doing face exercises to really help with the aging process, really slow it down. I'm done with straws. Bitch, we are done with straws. We don't drink out of these anymore. Where's my straw? Okay, moving on. This is a very random thing, but I really have to talk about it because it is something that I need to know if I am alone. That's what my podcast revolves around. It's me just constantly trying to relate to people and not feel alone in my sentiment of certain things that I go through on a daily basis. So let me know if you guys are like this too. I get overwhelmed when someone asks me, do you not want to go to the movies? So like when someone hits me like, do you not want to do this? I simply stop and stare, like the One Republic song. I cannot begin to formulate a sentence, or my brain cannot begin to process the thought of what the fuck they just said or asked me, because I get really confused, like that double, what is it? Conjunctive negativism. I really can't begin to like understand the question. So like Andrew does this a lot. Like he'll be like, so do you not want to go out to eat? And I'm just like, no, I don't want to go. Yeah, I want to go out to eat, but no, I don't. Yeah, I do, but no. So what I started doing is I start going like, yeah, I do want to go eat. Or, yeah, I do want to go to the movies. Or, no, I do not want to have sex. And it's one of those things where school never taught me that. And I think I'm too slow to also process a lot of things. I'm a very slow learner. And it's just one of those things that, it's just one of my Hillary quirks. One of my many Hillary quirks. So, yeah, if anyone else is also like that with me, please let me know, because it frankly disturbs me. And the reason why I bring it up is because the other day I was at my cousin's house and I was talking about it, and I was telling them how confused I get with stuff like that, and how genuinely puzzled and like I genuinely just get so stuck when someone asks me, do you not want to do this? And I'm just like, no, yeah, I do not want to. Of course I do want not to. What? Okay, I'm going to move a little quickly because my camera, laptop, and my phone are dying, and it's bringing me a lot of stress. So let's talk about Threads. Okay, so Threads First of all, let's get it out of the way. Threads was never meant to replace Twitter. I think it was just a way for people who have been rejected by Twitter and also done dirty by Twitter to go to Threads as a form of an escape, like me. I loved Twitter so much, but recently the algorithm has changed. I'm getting things recommended to me. There was a point where Elon Musk's tweets were getting pushed out and shoved down my throat. I had to block him at one point because it was just so much. I'm like, I never followed this motherfucker. Why am I getting all these tweets from him? And then like all these other Twitter pages that I had to mute because they're being shoved down my throat, and I never followed these pages, but it's like they're like suggested posts, but it's like the suggestion is a little too strong, and frankly it's very, very annoying. So Threads popped off within the first few minutes. It had thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of people downloading and creating their accounts. When I tell you, it was one of those moments of like, you just had to be there when Threads was blowing up. Like, it was quite an experience to witness, like people creating their accounts, gaining followers left and right. You would post something and it would get so much engagement. The engagement on there was so new and fresh and so invigorating. Fast forward to a week later, and I don't know about you guys, but Threads is so dead. Sorry, I felt like I had to burp there for a second. I don't know if you guys are also having this experience, but Threads is so dead on my end. And I follow like a few of like creator friends and like some other like pop culture thread accounts, but I've noticed like the engagement has dropped so much, even on these like brands threads or like creators threads. Like they just don't have the engagement. Like they used to get thousands upon thousands of retweets, and likes, and now it's like maybe 50, 100 likes, 2 rethreads. Like it's like the engagement has dropped so much, and I wonder if it's an app that's eventually just gonna die out, kind of like Lemon 8. Do you guys remember Lemon 8 when that blew up for a little bit? It was very short-lived. I don't feel like a lot of people use the app. Let me know if you guys used that app. That one, and also Be Real. Be Real was huge for such a long period of time, and it was trending at one point. But I don't know about you guys, but I really couldn't care less about Be Real anymore. I stopped using it because it was, I don't know, it just became like, like, yeah, it's there, but I don't really care about it. And so that app quickly became one of those, like, I don't really care about it, don't care to post. I would get notifications every day to post my Be Real, and I was like, I don't want to post anything. So the CEO, well, not Mark Zuckerberg, but the CEO of Instagram, I think, said that it's not a replacement for Twitter. It's supposed to be a safer version. So like, I think their regulations and their community guidelines from Instagram also apply to Threads, because I've seen people like getting their threads taken down for things that like wouldn't be taken down on Twitter. So like, I'm pretty sure that you would not see porn or like anything gory or anything crazy on Threads. Like it's definitely like a safer space in regards to like what you can put. And also it's connected to your Instagram account, so you can't delete your Threads account like how you could a Twitter account. So if you delete the Threads account, you delete your Instagram. And I hope they change that, because I don't know. But according to this article on CNBC, the engagement went down on Twitter. User traffic on Twitter slowed down. It went down 5% for the first 2 full days that Threads was available. And yeah, Threads is being touted by Meta executives as more of a positive public square for communities that never really embraced Twitter. So like for people that never really liked Twitter, this is their space to have like their little own version of Twitter, which honestly, I love Threads for that. Like it seems like a little more safe, where like you can just thread whatever you want and like talk about whatever without being bullied, I guess. Like obviously you can still get bullied and stuff. Like I saw James Charles's thread, and he would post and everybody was just dogging on him, and I was fucking loving it. It was so funny. But bottom line, Threads is meh. Like it's like like it's nice, it's fun. I have a good time on there, but the engagement died down so much. I wonder what they changed about it. I wish you can DM people. I wish that you can directly click on the thread and share it on your story. I think you can do that now, but like I meant like copying the link. Like there's a lot of changes that the app has to do. I want to be able to click on people's profile pictures and see it closer. There's a lot of changes, but it is in its infancy stage, and they haven't released in Europe, and apparently they're estimated to go over 200 million users. They're at 100 million plus right now, and when it gets released in Europe, it's expected to surpass Twitter, apparently, which is crazy because it's like Twitter is like, it's Twitter, but I know Elon Musk is shaking in his boots right now. What do you guys think about Threads? Do you guys like Threads? Do you guys fuck with it? Do you not care about it? Do you feel like you guys can engage better with like your favorite creators on there? Like, do you feel like you guys are closer to your favorite creators because they're on Threads and the engagement on there isn't as heavy as it would be on like, Instagram or TikTok? Let me know. Lastly, I wanted to talk about like how my style has changed throughout the years. Like I have always been trying to find my own identity when it comes to my style and just what I like overall with clothing. As a plus size girly, it has never been easy to find a style that I feel like I'm comfortable in, because like, yeah, anybody can tell me you can wear whatever you want. Like you can wear a crop top, wear a bikini, and it's like, you don't fucking understand. Like, I don't feel comfortable wearing that. I wish I did, but I just don't. And like even the shirt is a little tight. I got it from Doll's Kill and it's an extra, extra large, but it's bullshit because it is so tight that I can't even wear it out because it's just that tight to the point where it's almost see-through. But I have battled so much with like finding my own style, and I feel like I finally found it. And it's crazy because I'm 28 and it took me that long to find my style. Like, from when I was starting to make my own money and buy my own clothes and stuff. So like from 18, I want to say, so like maybe like 10 years, it took me a while to find my own style. If it wasn't me trying to dress like I was living in France, I never want to recount that. I went through a hippie phase where I was dressing with like bell bottoms, and it was like Free People threw up on me, but it wasn't Free People. It was like Kohl's and Rue 21. If you know, you know. But I used to dress in, the highest of fashion back in middle school and high school. And then I went through like a soft girl era. I went through a 60s era where I wanted to dress very 60s. I went through a lot. Yeah. And I have fallen onto this era, and I took a deep breath and I was like, I found my style. And it's like that 90s whimsical goth, sort of like a soft goth, but also like classic 90s, like very basic, like, but classic pieces. And like, just again, like whimsical, gothy. So like, very like, whimsical, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Charmed, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but also with a hint of like, Friends season 1 and like season 2, and like, just like very classic, a lot of velvet tops, velvet, silk tops, skirts, maxi skirts, jean, denim dresses, a lot of denim. And then for makeup, just a lot of classic, a lot of classicness, like light eyeshadow. My lips is definitely like a staple when it comes to my makeup look. Like I'm trying to do more dark lip liner and a light color on the lips, just to kind of accentuate like that 90s style. And I feel so comfortable in this style. And when it comes to the hair in the fall and winter, just a really nice 90s-esque blowout with little to no frizz. But, it's summertime. It's, a little hot out. It's very humid. It's disgusting. So flat iron it is. So it's very early 2000s with like, the clips and stuff. So And when it comes to accessories, like I've been getting more into silver jewelry. I used to be more of a gold jewelry person, but now I'm dabbling. This is the year of dabble, where I'm going into a little more silver jewelry. I'm wearing chokers. I am just completely reinventing myself because I'm all about finding things that make me comfortable and not finding things that are, I'm not doing these things because I want to be trendy. You know what I mean? Like, I have always been that person where, like, I want to do what everybody's doing. I want to dress like how everybody's dressing. There was an area where I was dressing like in only neutrals and beiges and dark and like black and creams and all that. And I still love that style. Don't get me wrong. I love me, my creams and my blacks and my whites and my beiges. But I love this style, like the 90s style. It's so classic. It's so simple too. I also don't like super like eccentric styles because I feel like it doesn't suit me that much. Maybe like once in a blue moon, but I feel like I'm more of like that simple kind of girl. And with my dark hair, I feel like that whimsical, almost grungy 90s look suits me well. And yeah, like, why have I become so obsessed with the 90s? That's kind of like the point that I was making. And I find so much comfort in that time period where, even though there was still a lot of shit going on back then, and I was a kid, so I'm speaking from a point of view of being a child in the 90s and living that experience, it was still, from things that I've heard from people that were teenagers, adults that grew up, that were like living in the 90s, it was a simpler time. It was a happier time. It was a time where, music was taking such a big turn with like hip hop, R&B, and like rock, and a lot of female artists were coming out, and there was such a change in culture and like diversity and like TV shows and movies, and things were starting to be more accepted, and technology was starting to become more integrated into the world. And again, music was, oh my God, music was amazing in the 90s. So it's something that I take so much pride in just holding on to that, especially when I'm feeling, down. I love just focusing so much on like that era. And it almost might seem a little pathetic because it's like, bitch, be in the present times. But it's like, no, I don't want to be in the present times. The present times are so fucking depressing and sad, and fashion nowadays isn't even original. It's all from things that have been trending for decades. So it's like, we're not in an era of like, oh, reinventing fashion, reinventing this. It's not, to me, it's not anything new. It's just, I don't know, even music doesn't feel the same. Like new music, it just feels recycled. It doesn't feel exciting. It doesn't feel like so new. Movies, TV shows, there is such a shift in like the movie world and the world of like TV shows and all this stuff, where it just feels underwhelming. It doesn't feel as exciting as, a TV show or a movie coming out back then. And it's all opinion based. I personally think that's how I feel about it. I don't know how you guys might feel about it, but I feel like it's not as exciting. And it sucks. So I've been, like I said, I've changed my style. I'm obsessed with 90s rock and other genres in the 90s sphere. I've been listening to a lot of Madonna, but I've also been listening to a lot of Radiohead, Goo Goo Dolls, Sarah McLachlan. Jesus Christ, that woman does something to me. Holy shit, I did not realize how good her music was until I started listening to it. Who else? Alanis Morissette. Oh my God, what a woman. Britney Spears, of course, Backstreet Boys. These are the people that I've always listened to, but these are newer artists that I haven't listened to. Like Paula Cole, she's the one that sings, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. What else? I've been watching a lot of old TV shows too, also for like the fashion inspo. So I've been watching Charmed. I've been watching Gilmore Girls. Is like such a cozy TV show. Oh my God. I never realized how cozy that TV show was until I watched it. It was during the fall too. So I was like decorating for the fall and I started watching that show and I was like, the dopamine that is being released out of my brain and into my body, the serotonin levels are out of this world because I was just like decorating for fall and I had Gilmore Girls playing in the background and I was like, oh, I feel so cozy. I feel so good. And it feels so good. It's such a good feeling. It's a feeling that like no drug and no drop of alcohol can replace. As much as I love my fair share of my drunken nights, it like there's no better feeling than that feeling of like that feel good feeling that you get, which by the way, I will say, and I'm not afraid to admit it, but I'm already getting ready for the fall. Okay, I know it's mid-July, it's not even August yet, but I don't give a fuck. I want to decorate for fall. I want to start looking into like the decorations that I'm going to incorporate in my home because I love the fall. The fall is my favorite season. Christmas, the joy of Christmas has kind of gone away, which is really sad to say because Christmas was the holiday for me. It's still exciting, you know, with the decorations and stuff, but the fall is like, oh, and Halloween, oh, and the pumpkin spice lattes and the oranges and the all those things just really make me so happy. And I have a candle that kind of smells like fall, and I was smelling it the other day and I'm like, I was like fueling my body, getting it ready for the fall. But yeah, and even like with my home decor, I go with a very 80s and 90s postmodern style, but I also throw in a lot of wicker to give it like, so I also throw in a little bit of that whimsical, but also like Gilmore Girls traditional kind of like style. You know what I mean? Like I have some kitchen home decor that has fruits on it, so it's almost like country / traditional, but not too country. It's like modern. It's a big bubble, you know, just pure nostalgia and so much goodness, and I love it. Honestly, it's so much fun to like have like that kind of different, unique look into home decor and like your own style. And you don't kind of go with what's trendy right now, which is gray. Am I the only one that's noticing that? I don't know about, like, I watch a lot of apartment tours. I watch like these real estate agents that do apartment tours in New York City, and every apartment that they go into, it is the same gray floors, gray hardwood floors that I am so sick and tired of seeing, and then gray tiles in the bathrooms, gray tiles, gray everything, and I can see a likeness to gray, like a heather gray, like a super dark gray, with obviously having a balance of like color and light colors too, and not making it too dark. But I don't know about you guys, but gray was never a color that I liked. I always hated gray because it always reminds me of like the missing of color. Like there's color missing in this. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, whenever I see something that's gray, it always makes me feel sad because there's no color. Like it's not exciting. And it's crazy that like I've also noticed like buildings in New York that are being built right now, a lot of them are gray. And there was actually an article that I saw because this girl was talking about it on TikTok where there's less color being introduced into, I kind of want to do like, not a full episode, but talk about it next week about the lessening of color in the world right now. I don't know about you guys, but I'm noticing that with like black trending with like clothing and a lot of grays, a lot of neutrals, but also with apartment buildings and like home decor, everything is gray or like almost gray or like black, and I'm like, where's the color? You look at home decor in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, and it's like all like beautiful pops of color, and it's like, what happened? I don't know about you guys, but it's something that I've noticed, and it bothers me because I love color. I love color. Like I put the saturation up on my TV so fucking high because I love color. I think that's why I love the fall, because I like color. It's beautiful to me. It's so attractive to me. But let me know if that's something you guys want me to go in depth about, kind of like figuring out like why is there so much lack of color in the world in new construction, you know? That's something I've definitely noticed a lot. But that is gonna do it for this week's episode of Everything is Tragic with Hilary Starr. I am your host, Hilary Starr. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun shooting this one. Definitely some great topics. Hopefully we have some things happening next week where it'll give me some great content. But either way, I have so much fun doing the podcast. You guys have no idea how much fun I have doing this. I don't care if it's only 100 people that listen to this. I love every single comment that you guys leave behind on the YouTube videos, or like if I post a TikTok about it. It genuinely makes me very, very happy. So thank you all for your support. Make sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.